Good morning, my dear students. This is Arul Murugan. Welcome to my digital class. Chapter name Database Concepts. Lecture video part 2. Today's topics: different forms of data, evaluation of database, difference between manual and computerized data processing cycle. So these are all the topic we are going to discuss in this video. Before entering today's topic, we will discuss previous class. Introduction about database. We know that the large and complex data which are collected, entered, stored and accessed in database. In origin of data, we studied there are two keywords, data and information. In applications of database, we discussed 10 applications. Now we will enter today's topic. Different forms of data. There are number of forms of data are available in the database. The different forms: video file, audio file, drawing, image, spreadsheet, document and text file. So these are all the different forms of data are available in the database. Next, evaluation of database. Here, when the file management came into existence, the system is called manual system and paper and pencil system. What is manual system? Assume I'm going to give 100 number, you have to add all the number and you have to tell the final sum. If you are using paper to add all the number, the process is called manual system or manual process. The same thing, the process is called also paper and pencil system. See, it is more difficult to handle and it is more difficult to maintain and it is difficult to record all the activities. See, all the government activities in early days, it was in the manual system. Everything they have to document in the form of files only, which means with the paper only. So all the document in the form of paper. So you know that it is too difficult to maintain and process. Assume that there are a bundle of thousands, 10,000s of files are available in a godown. You have to search a particular file, so it is too difficult. So processing data also, it is more difficult. So therefore companies looked to computer technology for help. Right now we are going to see difference between manual and computerized data processing. So this is important question. They may ask in a 2 mark or a 3 mark or 5 mark. This chapter, from this chapter, 1 mark, 2 mark, 1 mark, 1 2 mark, 1 3 mark and 1 5 mark they will ask. So this is an important chapter. This question they may ask 2 mark or 3 mark or 5 mark. Right. So first you have to understand what is manual data processing, what is computerized electronic data processing. Assume I'm going to give 1000 numbers. If you are using paper and pencil or pen, if you are using paper, the process is called manual data processing. The same work if you are using computer, then the process is called computerized electronic data processing. Right. First point, in a manual data processing, the volume of data which can be processed is limited in a desirable time. Assume per day how many number you can calculate. Assume I'm going to give first 100 numbers. Next after 1 hour I'm going to give 200 numbers. After 1 hour I'm going to give 300 number. If you are using paper, the data limit, which means the number of times, how many number you can calculate, 1000, 10,000, 1 lakh, which is limited. And the time also, it is desirable time. So you can calculate 1 hour or 2 hour. It is depending on the person. So the data and time is desirable, only limited. The same process, if you take computerized electronic data processing, the volume of data which can be processed can be very large, because the computer, it does not feel any tiredness, because it is not a human, right? It is a machine, so it will not feel like human feelings, so it will not tired. So it can process more number of data and it will work continuously. Second point, in a manual data processing requires large quantity of paper. We know that all the activity will be recorded in the form of paper, so that obviously it will require more quantity of paper. Here in the computerized data processing, it will require reasonable less amount of paper only. Next point, in data processing, the speed and accuracy at which the job is executed is limited. Assume first time I'm going to give 100 numbers. Second time I will give 200 numbers. The speed and accuracy in a first 100 time, second 200 time will be differ, because first time you will do more fast and accuracy will be more, but second time your speed obviously will less and the accuracy also will be less. Here, computerized data processing, the job is executed is faster and accurate. So if you give how many, even if you give n number of times calculation, the computer will be same fast, same accuracy, but being a human we cannot do like. Next point, in manual data processing, labor cost is high. So being a human, we have to pay the monthly salary, or we have some amount we have to pay, so labor cost is high. There, in a computerized data processing, labor cost is low. And the last point, in manual data processing, storage medium is paper. We know that because all the activity, all the process we have to enter into the paper, so storage medium is paper, so we have to file all the paper. Here in a computerized data processing, storage medium is secondary storage medium. We know that well-known secondary storage medium is hard disk. Next, data processing cycle, right? So first we will discuss in a manual processing how it will work. Assume I'm going to give two number, you have to add the two numbers, right? First number 2, second number 3. So what is the first stage? I given data as an input to you, so you are received. So what is the first number? 2. What is second number? 3. Now I given input, stage number 1. Next, after receiving input, what you will do? You will process, which means you will calculate. So what you will calculate? 2 plus 3. This process is called processing, or this action is called processing. This is second stage. Third stage, storage. So after doing the calculation, you got result. What is the result? 2 plus 5 is 2 plus 3 is 5. So the result you will store in your mind. Yes, the process is called storage. Next, step 4, output. So after getting the result, what you will do? You will not keep in your mind, right? You will tell, sir, the answer is 5. The process is called output. Then we will communicate. Yes, very good. If you say correct answer, I will appreciate. If you not say correct answer, then I will try to correct the answer. Next, the same thing we will do how it will work in the computerized data processing. What is the first point? Data input, right? So what I did, I given input, right? So here the data may be any kind of data. The data may be letter, or it may be a number, or it may be symbol, or it may be shape, or it may be image. Any kind of data we can enter into the computer, right? Point number 1. Second, how you will enter into the data? How you will enter the data into the computer? With the help of input devices. What are the input devices we know? Keyboard, mouse, scanner, microphone, digital camera. So these are all the input devices are available. So with the help of input device, you can able to enter the data into the system, right? This is point number 2. So after enter the data into the system, what have to do? The data must be converted into computer understandable form. This is most important, because computer knows only 0 and 1. So this automatically computer will do. We no need to do manually. So these are all the 3 point in data input. What is the point number 1? The data may be any kind of data. It may be a letter, number, symbol, shape, or image. Point number 2, how you will enter the data into the system? With the help of input devices, using a keyboard, mouse, or other input devices such as scanner, microphone, digital camera. After enter the data into the system, the data will convert. It has to convert into the computer understandable form. So this is first stage. Second stage, after getting the input, what we will do? We will process the data. So what is process? Series of action is called processing the data. Series of action is called processing the data. So how the operations will be there? The operations are classified based on some conditions, some calculation, sorting, indexing, and accessing the data. So these are all the classifications. So based on these classification, the operations will be there. Same the example. So if I give number two number in this example, if I give 4 plus 4, so what you will do? You will do calculation. That process, the act is called processing. This is stage 2. Next, stage 3, storage. We know that after getting the result, you have to store in your mind. Same thing. Data and information which are not currently being used must be stored so that we can able to access it later. So whenever we want, we can able to access the data later. So this is important. Once if you get the result, so the data and information which are not currently being used, if you are using, yes, you can use the data for calculation. After getting the result, if you are not using the data, you have to store into the system so that we can able to access it later. Here there are two types of storage. We know that the first one is primary storage, second one is secondary storage. We know that primary storage, it is a main memory. It is a temporary memory. Once the computer is turned off, all the data will be erased. Second one, secondary storage, secondary memory, it is a permanent memory. Even if the system is turned off also, the data will not be erased. Next, stage number 4, output. So we know that after getting the result, we have to tell the answer in manual processing. In a computer, how it will? The result obtained after processing data must be presented to the user. Okay. How? In user understandable form. So this is important. So after getting the result, we have to present the result to the user in which format? User understandable format. And here the result may be in the form of, which means the report may be in the form of hard copy or soft copy. What is hard copy? The information which are printed on the paper is called hard copy. And what is soft copy? The information which are stored in computer or any electronic devices, that is called soft copy. So output may be in the form of hard copy or soft copy. Next, this is last stage, communication. See, nowadays computer have communication ability which increase their power with wired and wireless communication. The computer may communicate with wired or wireless communication. And here um, we know that getting we are getting data, that is called input, then we are processing, then we are storing, then we are communicating. So here you can see data may be input from different places, then we are processing in a remote area and stored in several places and then transmitted. See, we cannot predict that all the process may will do in a single system. In a single system means only one system. So all the stages may do in a remote area. So the input may come from some other places, the process will do in other places, and we can store the data somewhere else. The system will be located and we can send the data in a different places. For example, assume that I'm going to search one keyword. For example, I want to visit SVVN PU college. So what I have to do, where the SVVN PU college website is there, it is in the SVVN PU college server. So from where I can able to access, is it any necessary only access in the server? No, I can access the data anywhere else. So I'm sitting here in my home, so I will give the SVVN pucollege.org. This is the website name. So after giving this, the website is called input. So after giving the input, what will happen? It will process later, then I can able to search. So what is the main point here? All 5 stages will it is not necessary doing with only one system. So we can which means it is access remotely, which means different places we can able to get the input, we can process and we can store the data and we can able to transmit the data. So this is communication. So these are all the 5 stages, and this diagram is important. For this diagram 2 mark will be there. First one is we have to get the input, first one. Second, we have to process. Next, after processing, we have to store the data. Then we have to output the data, and finally we have to communicate. So these are all the different stages available in data processing cycle. So we'll conclude this session with a summary. First, we discussed different forms of data. We know that there are different forms of data are available. The data will be audio, video, image, symbol, letter, number. Next, evaluation of data. The file system came into exist. The system is called manual system, pencil system. So the system is very difficult to handle, so that computerized data processing entered. We studied the difference between manual and computerized data processing. Then we studied data processing cycle. In the data processing cycle, there are 5 stages are available: data input, data processing, data storage, and output and communication. If you have any queries, you can call my number, and you can WhatsApp me, you can text, or you can mail me also. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video. We will meet in the next class with some other topic. Thank you. Thank you very much.